Hey everybody, Blocky Poncho here. Today is, what is it? No, it's not Sunday. Friday! How could I forget it's Friday? Put those down. Oh, right on the floor. Falling off my bookshelf. So today is Friday, March 29th. I'm weighing 79 pounds. I weighed 180 in the middle of the day because I probably went weigh in this morning, but whatever. Goal progress is pretty much unchanged. Things are, the juggling is, it's just, I feel like I've hit a plateau in terms of my hand-eye coordination. I'm hitting I'm getting to a point where more and more practice is less helpful than more and more skill. So I need to look up more videos and things online and figure out what techniques it is that I'm not using. I'm missing something somewhere because it's not getting better with practice. So, other than that, things are pretty good. I don't know what other goals I actually have going on right now because so much stuff on my to-do list, just big life things that are looming in the next couple months. Yeah, these videos are going to change a lot because things are going to get pretty crazy when I get over to my apartment. Because not really when I get there, but the process of getting there is going to be difficult. But, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Today I want to tell you guys the story I said I would tell you yesterday. Which is a damn shame because I really wanted to just make a video under the bed today, but whatever. So, yesterday, the first one is a short one, and it's just basically, I went to see Cloud Atlas, which was, in my opinion, probably one of the best movies I'd ever seen. Like, it's top 10 now. I really liked it. It was, I don't know if I would go so far as to call it groundbreaking, which a couple of people who saw it with me were claiming, but it was definitely new. It had an angle that I hadn't heard about before, that I hadn't seen before, and it put a lot of cool things together. And the makeup work, the cinematography was good, the theming was good, the makeup work on the actors, the acting was good. Everything was, all the details fell together, I thought, fairly well. I mean, it was nice. I liked the movie a lot, and it had the action, it had the romance scenes, it had the gunfights. And then it had the suspense, and then it had the dark realizations. The only bad thing that I would say about the film was that it had too much gore. And I feel like it had more than it needed to have, because I'm trying, what example can I give without giving it away? Just a lot of blood in a couple places. And there was some places where you would think that in a movie you would do it more tastefully. Because it's not meant to be a horror flick. You're not meant to be, you're meant to be terrified, horrified at what's been done. It's freakish. But it's not meant to be a scary movie, in general. It's not a horror flick. So I was a little bit perturbed by that, and it was, it kind of turned my stomach over the first time, so I wasn't expecting it at all. I was figuring they would do, Silence of the Lambs, which was a very creepy, downright scary film. But they never once showed you anything really over the line nasty. There's one scene that I remember very particularly because it was pointed out to me by someone else. And I went back and watched it again and really was like, yeah, that totally sells the whole idea. So, if you haven't seen Silence of the Lambs, short and long of it is there's this woman detective trying to solve a crime, get a serial killer in jail, basically, and they find one of his victims. And she's been on a river for a couple of weeks, and she's been dead for a long time, and it's really gross that she's all decaying and stuff. So they don't show you the body. They don't show you this gross corpse because you don't really want to see it. But you want to know how it affects the story, and they show you that. So what happens is there's a scene where they go into the autopsy room, and it's detectives and her partner, and I think her boss, and then there's a doctor there as well. And they put the smelling salt thing under their nose. It's supposed to help you not be able to smell the death because it keeps you from throwing up, basically. So you can see they're stealing themselves. The characters are trying to get ready for this, and then they go in there and they don't show you the body. It's not even an episode of CSI where you see somebody getting cut open. Ugh. They don't even go that far because this is back in 1994. Mid-90s, I think. Silence of the Lambs came out. But, they don't show you the body. Instead, they put the camera where the body would be. and they point the camera at the people looking at it. So you look from the body's perspective up to the detective and like the doctor and stuff, and you see on their faces them like, you know, the doctor is very clinical about it all, but the detective, like, she's clearly not enjoying this sight, but she needs the information that they're going to get from this to help catch this killer. So it's like, I really have to do this, but it's really hard to do, and it's disgusting, but you feel bad for the person. It's like there's so many things going on, and they manage to convey this whole eerie, just sense of grossness and death without putting it out in your face like it's a Saw film or something, you know? So one thing I would say about Cloud Atlas is that it had a little bit more gore than it needed to have, but other than that, stellar film. And one of the things I really liked about it was that it's definitely a film where you walk out of the theater and go, man, I missed that. I gotta go watch the movie again, you know? Because you get to the end, and then you realize, oh man, I didn't realize that at the beginning. It's one of those films. It's not exactly a surprise ending, I wouldn't say, but there were a few parts in it where it was foreshadowing. Strong foreshadowing throughout the whole movie, which I love. I love it. Foreshadowing is so great. It's probably my favorite literary device, and it works well in cinema as well. So they did a great job with the film. It was well directed. I think it actually had 2 directors. But anyway, if you haven't seen Cloud Atlas, it's been out for a long time. So if you wait like another week or 2, it'll be out on DVD. You should definitely try and see it at some point. 5 stars. That's out of 5. Maybe like 4.5 for the gore. It was really good though. Anyway, second story. So this was something that happened to me just yesterday, right before I came back here to make the video. I got out of Cloud Atlas, and then I had to go to Snelling because all the other dining halls were closed because it was like 11:30 at night. So I get over to Snelling, I eat, and I'm on my way out, and there's a couple in front of me. It's just a couple, you know, a guy and a girl, and they're in casual clothes. They're just going to Snelling to get some food late at night. And they're clearly not in a hurry to get anywhere. They're just kind of talking to each other. And I got the impression that they were a new couple, or that they weren't actually dating yet, and he really wanted to be dating her. Because his attitude was very, like, you know, he was trying to make himself as attractive as possible. You know? I don't know what the word for that is. He was sort of puffed up. But it's like when we leave to go, they're walking really slowly because he clearly like enjoys spending time. He's not in a hurry to like get out of there and get away from her. They're going really slowly, and I'm a little bit like, really, because I needed to get back here and do things. So I was like trying to like go around them, but I couldn't get around because the hallway wasn't the right shape. And then we had to go through the turnstile to leave the dining hall, and I could tell that he was kind of being that's the word, pompous. He was being like puffed up, pompous. Because it was going past like trying to look good in front of your girlfriend. He was definitely being pompous because when he goes up to the turnstile, and there's more evidence of this later. He goes up to the turnstile, and there's a lot of different ways to go through a turnstile, and I go through them all the time because I have to go through them to get out of the dining halls. So probably like 2 or 3 times a day. The freshman, will walk right up to him and just kind of like, how do I go through this? Just run into it. Which is probably not the best way. I think what most people do is they kind of turn sideways and just like push with their hip and slide right through. That's what I do, at least. I've seen a lot of people do that. You kind of go through, and you turn it sort of like if the 3 spokes are like this, you turn away from them and kind of just like sidestep through. Which is easiest to do because it's only like this wide anyway. So like, if you try to go straight through, you're like, I won't fit. Like I'm not a huge guy, but it's kind of small. Anyway, no, he doesn't do either of those. He like walks up, puts both of his hands on, and like swings himself through. like he seriously just puts his hands on top of both sides of the turnstile and like lifts his feet up and like swings himself through the turnstile. And I'm just like, like lands on the other side. I'm just like, now you're just trying to show off. And you're totally failing because this is not something that's going to impress someone. Like, wow, look at him. He doesn't give a shit about turnstiles. What a cool dude. Not really. I'm not seeing it. So I'm trying to walk around these guys, and she's like kind of lagging behind. She's got like really tall heels on, so she's kind of going slow. That might have been part of the reason they were walking so slow. But I get around them finally, and he's like turning and talking to her. And so on the way out of the dining hall, this is common for facilities where you have the door being open a lot of traffic going in and out. If you're trying to keep the air conditioning in, and there's that many people, like a dining hall, you have people going in and out constantly, leaving and coming on from meals. So if the door's open all the time, the AC is going to be getting out, and you're going to be wasting a lot of money just running the power bill up. So a lot of these facilities, in fact, all the dining halls do, is they have 2 sets of doors, basically. And that just helps cut down the amount of air that gets blown right out. It works really well. But the thing is, with snowing, the doors are only like if you were to open both, so it's just a pair of doors, and then another pair of doors, you have to go through both of them to leave. And if you were to open both of the doors, they would probably come like this close to each other. So it's a very small room that you have to go through to go in or out. And you just walk through, the doors swing both ways. They're on like the saloon kind of style hinges. So there's 2 of these doors, and then there's 2 of these doors, and you have to just walk through to leave. So I'm walking in front of them, and I generally consider myself to be a polite person. I try and be respectful and courteous to other people. So when I go through those doors, I typically sort of like hold back. I can hold the door for the next person if they're, close enough that it makes sense. If they're like still back in the turnstiles, they're too far away, they can do it themselves. So I walk back. I finally get around because they're going so slow. And I'm in a hurry, so I walk out through the doors. I get there and I hold the door open, and he's turning. He's too slow. He's turning and looking back at her. And he's just talking to her. He's like, clearly not in a hurry to leave. So I'm like, all right. So I look over the door. I turn to leave, and I go out. And 2 things. I hear him behind me. The last thing he says, and this is the point where I really decided that I didn't like him, because it was just, anyway, I'll tell the joke that he told. It wasn't really a joke. They're walking out, and he and her are talking about food. And he says, yeah, I'm actually allergic to a lot of foods. And she says, oh, really? Yeah, really? And he says, yeah, they make my dick swell up. I was like, what? Really? Did you say that? Did you just say that and, mean it to be funny or impressive or clever? Because it just really wasn't. If you didn't think that was funny just now, I didn't either. It totally fell flat. So anyway, that's the last thing I hear before I, let go of the door. I turn and I open up the next one. I'm on my way out. And then I hear, wham! Behind me. The guy had walked up, and he was, looking the other way. He turns and runs right into the door as it's closing. He's not looking where he's going. And so these doors, again, they're on saloon hinges. So they just when you look over, they go. They don't, there's no little hydraulic thing that, shh, and slows it down. They fucking swing. So he just gets slammed. From how far back? I didn't actually look back because I didn't want to be implicated and make it look like I did it on purpose, because I didn't. It was an accident. But I didn't feel bad about it at all after what I heard. Like I say, I didn't do it on purpose, but I didn't really feel bad about it afterwards either way. So maybe I'm a bad person, maybe I'm not. I was trying to hold the door for him. He wasn't looking where he was going. Anyway, so the door swings shut. It doesn't really swing too shut. It goes right through. And so he walks up and basically just blams right into the door as it's swinging into him. And I hear, as I'm walking away, the girl is just laughing her ass off. I thought it was sort of instant karma, because he's just kind of being a dick. He's being real pompous. He's showing off. He's making these jokes that are just not funny and kind of really tactless humor. And then right as he finishes saying it, there was less than a second from when he finished that, and she didn't laugh at that joke either. She was just like, really, did you say that to me? And less than a second after he finishes saying it, bam, he gets hit in the face with the door. So I was like, it's a little bit of instant karma. I feel like that. They say what goes around comes around. I think it went around pretty quick at that point. Or who knows, maybe that was for something he did last week. Either way, I thought it was a real funny experience, and I figured I'd share it with you guys. So let me know, did I asshole because I thought it was funny and didn't really feel bad? But really, I don't think so. Like I said, I didn't do it on purpose, so I don't feel like it was my fault. If he'd been looking in front of him, he would have just, went through the door like normal, wouldn't have been a big deal. But because he was trying to be all puffed up, he didn't see it coming. So, that's how it goes. But, I guess that's all I wanted to talk about in today's episode. I'm trying to do the camera angle. I guess I'm, out of breath. This is, ugh. Part of it is that my throat's kind of dry. Allergies are really bad in this part of Georgia right now, so I've been feeling it the past couple of days. I've had, a frog in my throat all the time, which is, it sucks. If you've watched my LPs for more than, since last spring, you've heard me talk about allergies before, so I won't go through that again, but it just sucks. I've been on my allergy meds for probably 2 weeks now, And that's the kind of thing where you take it once a day and it builds up in your system and it works better the longer you take it up to a certain point. So I've reached the point where it's peaking and how effective it is for me. But I still get the kind of the dry throat and the sneezing a lot. And my nose runs a lot. So I just deal with it. I carry a handkerchief, but whatever. But it makes it tough for LPs because my throat gets so dry. It's been nice because doing Morrowind and Ponchlock, I've been able to take a lot of breaks in the middle of videos to get some water, which is where I will resync the audio in Ponchlock, and I'll just cut out traveling in Morrowind, so it works out, but, it's kind of a pain. And then part of it is that I try and talk more and, breathe in and out less, which means that after a long conversation or a long video session, I'm, out of breath. I haven't been breathing enough and I've been talking too much. That's just kind of how it goes. You get a little bit too caught up in the magic of cinema. Either way, I'm going to stop rambling. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. I'm still drinking pretty much only water. It's really good. It's a good thing.